Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now August 2nd of 2025, and given that the Meghan Markle drama continues not just behind the scenes over at Netflix, but also in the public eye and exactly what's been going on between herself, CEO Ted Sarandos, the many executives over at Netflix HQ, and how it's really going all out of control as we speak in the midst of reshoots that are actually looming to a very end. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, given that Meghan Markle is beginning to wrap up reshoots for Season 2 of With Love Meghan, they have a couple of days left to do so, and then they're going to go into the editing process, right? Post-production for this series, rush through that and get it on Netflix in time. It seems like this is all being done in fast motion. You know, we know that they're trying to get this thing done as fast as possible. They're rushing this thing, which is another obvious sign that they really have zero confidence in this show. But what's interesting here has a lot more to do with the fact of what Meghan Markle recently had to say in, of course, light of her getting canceled by Netflix. Her contract deal is no more. It will not be renewed. It will not be renewed beyond this September of 2025. And this is where it really begins to actually go to a different level of, you know, illogical things that Meghan Markle actually does. Now, what's interesting here about all of this is that we know that Meghan Markle always goes into that narcissistic behavior, that narcissistic mindset of lecturing and educating others about how they should actually engage in their daily, day-to-day lives and doing, of course, what they want to do and how she feels that they should actually do things in life. Well, it actually got worse. Now, with the Meghan Markle drama only getting more intense behind the scenes at Netflix and in the public eye, one major development that is now active involves more to do with Meghan Markle going on a very long-winded rant after she got canceled by Netflix. Meghan recently delivered the following: I think when you are a working actress and you are also a working mother, it's important to create the balance in your work life and your personal life. Something I think not many American women understand how to do that. And more often than not, as a mother, I see how their children are just neglected, and it's a growing issue among female young adults who have children in America. They just don't know how to parent because they never really got the education that they need in their early life. But also looking over to my professional life, acting and doing all these amazing things, what hurts the most is when studios or production companies decide it is no longer your time because you come from a place of diversity or you come from a very diverse background. More often than not, this is why many actresses are losing their jobs, because they are women of color like myself. And it's a real hard problem that we have to tackle in this industry. In most cases, this is why actresses are canceled, and it happens way more often than you think. The only advice I can give to some actresses out there is to skip out on this career path and to just let it go and focus on getting a real job with the proper education. To me, as an actress, it's important for me to educate the uneducated women in this country that believe that they can just get into acting and become a star. There are so many women that just don't understand how to do their jobs anymore in this country, especially when they chase a career path in acting. They don't seem to understand that you can get canceled at any moment just like that. But there are also many toxic women in this country contributing to another long-lasting problem, and that is encouraging the toxic male demographic, toxic masculinity that has taken over Hollywood in the corporate ladder and in the talent. And it can be very overwhelming when this behavior is encouraged by women, especially out there, that just don't understand what they are doing. Now guys, let me just stop there again. The thing about Meghan Markle here is that she has the goal to say that I have to educate the uneducated, I have to educate how a lot of young women, specifically young adults that happen to be women, on how to parent their children, and especially how they should actually chase specific career paths. Meghan Markle feels that she has the overall goal to actually say that, and to actually demand people how to actually do their day-to-day jobs and how to actually become a parent and how to do everything that she's doing so-called properly, right? This just goes to show you how narcissistic and self-absorbed she really is. This is exactly why I like to sum her up as insufferable, because that's exactly what she is. That's exactly why people see her like that, because she actually she projects these types of behaviors onto the general public. You know, it's one thing for her to say that, you know, this is my life, I'm doing things this way, but it's another thing to say that those out there those in the public have to do, anything in their career or in their daily lives Meghan Markle's way. And that's exactly why people are fed up with Meghan Markle. And again, this is all coming well after she got canceled by Netflix. She appears to be very, bitter. She appears to be very upset, obviously. And everything has a lot to do with her being in her head at this point. So moving on forward, she goes on to continue, and I don't mean to step into politics at all, but here it goes, a little bit, but I think it really has something to do with this administration. That's all I will say about that and leave it there. But modern women need to shape up. They have to learn to become proper mothers. They have to know their boundaries and their career path, and their boundaries especially when they are chasing an acting career in this industry, because the toxicity is out there, and it's out of control, and it can be very unfair and out of place. I am here to stay no matter what. I'm not going anywhere, regardless of my failures in certain paths that have hit a dead end. Now guys, let me just say one thing again before I get to the tail end of this. Now again, she's making it ultimately clear, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not quitting acting. I'm not stepping away from Hollywood. She really is acting like the captain on a sinking ship here. She's going down with the ship. She is trying her hardest to stay in Hollywood, to stay in the film industry, regardless of all the studios that want nothing to do with her, period, the end. That's how it is right now, and she's not going to give it up. Goes to show you that the fact that she cannot let that go, seemingly her acting career is her identity at this point. That's what it sounds like. And if she loses her acting career, she loses her identity. That's pretty much what it sounds like, to me at least. But when you're looking at Meghan Markle, how she's lecturing, and how she's really saying, you gotta live your lives this way, you have to become a parent that way, and this obviously is an offensive thing to say because, look, the public doesn't want to hear from a so-called celebrity. Let's just say she's a so-called celebrity because she's not. She's a personality, she's on some things like, for example, she's on With Love Meghan, she's on other programs that she has done years and years ago, such as Suits, which she barely was in altogether, but she goes on the close. I will try my hardest to connect with people in the media to teach them and to lecture them on how to do the things I said properly. And there she goes again. I mean, going off against the public, really just saying, you got to do things my way. I feel like, she's saying, I feel like I have like this place in the world, basically how she's putting it, that she has to lecture people, and that there's a lot of uneducated American citizens out there. Again, it sounds very much like Alec Baldwin. It sounds very much like what George Clooney and Julia Roberts said time and time again toward, I would say, the tail end of 2024. You guys may recall, they said almost the same exact words, the same exact patterns, about lecturing how people should be mothers and fathers, and how they got to actually teach the uneducated individuals and the citizens in this country. And nobody wants to hear that, right? Nobody wants to hear from personalities or people on television or people in the movies. Just people don't want to listen to it at all. And this is only putting Meghan Markle in a deeper hole. But overall, I would like to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.